Welcome to RK'S Guyana Free Media in the Raw. Dearest ladies and gentlemen, your friend, your brother, me, Haji Dr. Roshan Khan. And as you know, and I know, that I have been somewhat inactive on the RK'S Guyana Free Media for a few weeks. Slight activities along with repeats. But I was looking after some personal issues and matters, and I had to travel somewhat. So I'm back, and the mode has returned, and I have to read. And there's so many things to read, my divine, beloved friends and families. So many things are happening. So many things happened then, but so many things are happening now. So I really don't know where to start. My attention is being drawn, though, on foreign matters, so to say, in the Raw. And this is the U.S. judge dismisses Trump election lawsuit in Pennsylvania. Many things are happening in Guyana, and I will converse and read and communicate on. I must remind you that there are some people who are horrified, really terrified of my voice, and the readings that I do of articles already printed and some light commentaries, and they're suffering from very serious terror and fear. In particular, Mr. Joseph Harmon is completely terrified of me. I don't want the gentleman to know that I'm only an ordinary guy. I'm not even a lawyer, you know. And why is he so scared of me? I don't know. I heard when Joseph Harmon hears my name, he suffer like temporary pulmonary or heart attacks. His heart start to shiver, so to say. You know, I feel sorry, man, Mr. Harmon, that he's still on a mode trying to affect my business because I went against all the madness that they went on with during the elections and the count, and I was merely reading papers. He think I'm anti-PNC. What a sad thing for people to think that because someone disagrees with you, that you all are enemies. People have a right to disagree with you, just as in your own party, Mr. Harmon. That people disagree with you. You all disagree with each other. People disagree with your former president and leader, David Arthur Granger, former president. So you will have disagreements. It doesn't mean that anybody is your enemy. In the end, the Guyana is our country, man. I'm appealing to your mind to use your intellect and wisdom. You must have some in there. I know you have your issues, because if you didn't have issues, all the court cases that you all brought against the then opposition and against the GCOM, that you would have fought the cases yourself. Even James Bond could have helped to fight those cases himself. But you could not have fought it. So we understand these things. I have nothing against you, and we must not pass each other publicly if and when we see each other. Now to the reading of Sunday Stabrook, November 22nd. I also have a message printed in 3 major newspapers, except Stabrook, incidentally, Kaichor, in which I'm talking about criminal penetration by people, criminal penetration. I also have to make a commentary and talk seriously and write about these companies coming into Guyana, that Guyanese should be given a chance to partner with them or a percentage, and they should not be given our lands free and easy, whilst we want investors and all tax-free dollars, so we got to finance them technically. And 2, the land belongs to us, the people of Guyana, if and when we wish to take it back from them. Guyanese need to have some control of their assets, and the assets that we give people to invest on must remain the asset and the property of Guyana. And if they don't do right, we have a right to take it away from them. That's another serious article. I don't think the government is addressing this, the PPC government, addressing this as I see it. But let me give you this article. Why I'm paying attention on the U.S. election and the Trump shenanigans, or whatever's taking place there, is because it is so similar to Guyana, as if Guyana, through the APNU AFC court cases and the recalcitrance and wanting to stay in power at all cost, and the hundreds of millions spent on lawyers, that it's so similar. Like we opened a college of deception. Has Guyana opened a college of deception and trickery in election-nearing matters? President Donald Trump faced a new setback yesterday in his desperate bid to overturn the U.S. election as a federal judge dismissed a lawsuit filed by his campaign that sought to throw out millions of voters in Pennsylvania. U.S. District Court Judge Matthew Brand ruled that Trump's campaign had failed to demonstrate that there had been widespread voting fraud in the November 3rd election, which Trump lost to Democrat Joe Biden. This court has been presented with strained legal arguments without merit and speculative accusations, Brand wrote. You know, they wrote their summation when it's time to give the judgment or the verdict. The lawsuit, spearheaded by Trump's personal lawyer, Rudy Giuliani, sought to stop officials from certifying Biden's victory in the state, arguing that some counties wrongly allowed voters to fix errors on their mail ballots. Sad, eh? A man like Rudy Giuliani, how he saved New York City and fought the mob as a prosecutor, and what he would do with his name for political malfeasance or benefits in some way. Giuliani did not immediately respond to request for a comment. The lawsuit is one of dozens filed by Trump and his Republican allies in the aftermath of the election. They were also seeking to invalidate or change the results through recounts and direct pressure on lawmakers in several states. I must state also that there is some important insider information coming out that he knows he has lost the election, but he's trying to take vengeance, he says, for what they did to him through accusations of Russian and other interference in the elections when he won it, ladies and gentlemen. And in the process, willing to bring down the repute and the power as a democracy and a democratic leader in the world as the United States is. It's a very sad thing. Now, I'm not anti-Trump, nor am I anti-Republican. But I have interest in the United States, and I'm a lover of the U.S. of A. Yesterday, the Republican National Committee and the Michigan Republican Party wrote to the State Board of Canvassers asking it to adjourn for 14 days to allow for an audit of boxes in Wayne County, which includes the majority black city of Detroit. The letter cited allegations of irregularities that have not been substantiated. Irregularities that they have not substantiated. But they're just trying to apply pressure, as I see, on Biden. Well, the same thing was happening in Guyana, when at the end of it all, when Mr. Granger knew that he was going to lose the election, he's willing to talk peace and shared governance. I mean, to me, that was an embarrassing personal condescending. It looked bad for the party. Back to the article. As for a response, the spokesperson for the Department of State noted that Michigan law does not allow for audits before certification, due to take place on Monday, and said judges initially appointed by both Republicans and Democrats have found allegations of widespread fraud to be wholly meritless. So the judge said completely meritless. The spokesperson also for the Department of State noted that. Two leading Republican lawmakers from Michigan who came to Washington at Trump's behest said after meeting him on Friday that they had no information that would change the outcome of the elections in the state. So he called two top ones and see what they could do to overthrow this thing, and they admitted that there is nothing that they can do to overthrow the will of the people, so to say. But Trump said on Saturday the media were misreading the statement in which the pair also said they had faith in a review being conducted by Michigan lawmakers. Massive voter fraud will be shown, Trump wrote on Twitter. I feel bad for my other favorite country, after Guyana, the United States of America. Trump efforts, which critics call an unprecedented push by a sitting president to subvert the will of voters, have met with little success in the courtroom or on the ground. Manual recount and audit in Georgia confirmed Biden on Friday as the winner of the southern state, the first Democratic presidential candidate to win Georgia in nearly 3 decades. The Trump campaign now has 2 business days to request a recount in Georgia. Trump's legal team has already said it plans a lawsuit in the state, but has not provided specific. Trump's accusations have continued to inflame his hardcore Republican base. And we must state also, very similar to what we heard in Guyana, some people were calling for insurrection and misbehavior and protests and so on to prevent the new government from taking power. Some of the supporters of the APNU AFC. But good sense prevailed and nobody did anything like that. And the same thing will happen eventually in the United States. But that is the situation, ladies and gentlemen, as I bring you this information on an update in the United States elections. May God bless the United States of America always, and may our friendship with Guyana blossom, and may Mr. Trump President Trump accept the reality for the sake of America and democracy, and for the sake of his history, because history will speak of these things in times to come, into the future. Another 25, 50, 100 years, 200 years, 300, 500 years into the future, this period will be marked in a sad state of shame for the United States of America. And the name of President Trump, unfortunately, will be down in history as that president who didn't want to accept the reality and the vagaries and the truth of democracy. Your friend, your brother, me, Haji Dr. Roshan Khan, saying thank you for tuning into this, the RK'S Guyana Free Media in the Raw.